when you made the decision and what it was like telling the boys?
Yeah, probably come to the decision that this would be my last year, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I reckon. I just had a bit of a chat with the club, got their take on things, and then took that home and chatted with my wife and my immediate family about what was best for us and myself, and made the decision that this was going to be it. And I think the true reflection of a good decision is that night I slept 10 hours without waking up, and a week later my wife said, "Geez, you're very happy. You're happy as you've been for a while." So I think that's the tale of a good sign. And then just the timeline from there to be able to tell the fellas, and I mean, I didn't want to be lying to people in the last 4 weeks of the year, as I've made my mind up of what I wanted to do, and I felt a bit bad a couple of times, not just at the footy club but outside the footy club, what you're doing next year, and people asking you that question, and you sort of just half lied to them by saying we're just working through it. But I thought it'd be best to be honest with everyone and the boys, and then I can really just enjoy the last month of being an AFL footballer.
I think I read today you said your body's going to thank you for it. Ultimately, is that what swayed you? Was the body wasn't holding up anymore?
Yeah, I think so. I think my body this year has been pretty good until the mid-season bye, and then it's probably affected my form a little bit towards the back end of the year, and ultimately I think that's what is slowing me down to the point where I probably wouldn't be able to get through another full year of footy. And to be honest, thinking about a pre-season right now that's pretty hard to get over as well. So I think that's where it's at with me. Physically, I've pushed myself just about as far as I can go throughout my career, and at some point that's got to catch up with you, and I think that's probably going to be in 5 weeks.
Do you think you've paid a price for the way that you've played?
I think I probably have, but if I didn't play that way, I probably wouldn't have got a game. So you rob Peter to pay Paul in that aspect, and I wouldn't change anything about my career except for maybe playing a few more finals. But outside of that, the way I went about it, I tried my hardest in every game I played. I tried to be the best teammate I could be for my teammates, and hopefully make the North Melbourne supporters and members proud. And I can rest my head on the pillow after making this decision and sleep well, knowing that I've given it my all.
Played everywhere on the ground for the Kangaroos. Where do you feel you enjoyed your footy the most? Was it during that era on the ball or playing forward? Or?
Yeah, I've actually enjoyed all positions, to be fair. They've all probably different parts of my career. Early days as a midfielder, and towards the back end a little bit more as a forward, and then a bit more as a defender coming on late. But I think each position has a role to play. I loved the inside midfield stuff, but that took a big toll on your body. So I was pretty lucky that I had some versatility to get out of there. Probably extended my career by 3 or 4 years. In that aspect. So I've thoroughly enjoyed my time down back the last couple of years, been able to help a young side with some leadership stuff behind the ball and communication. And who doesn't love kicking goals as a forward? It's always fun too. So I was managed to put it through a few through the big sticks as well, which has been fun.
Is there a moment you can pinpoint that was the highlight of your career?
Oh, I think probably the 2014-15 final series for us. We got to back-to-back prelims and ultimately couldn't get to the big dance, but that was as close as I got in my career to playing in a grand final and winning a grand final. And make no mistakes, that's why we're all here, is to play and win silverware, play in big games and win silverware. And unfortunately I didn't quite get there, but as I said before, I can rest my head on the pillow and know within myself that I left no stone unturned getting there, and that's footy. Unfortunately, we all can't reach the highest peaks of every mountain, and I've enjoyed my time in the game without winning a flag. But we've had some very, very fun memories along the way, and those finals probably stand out for me, and the relationships you've built along the way as well.
With Clarko back in the fold and a lot of young talent on the list, is there any sense of frustration that things are about to pick up on the field, or are you happy with where
Oh, no frustration at all for me. I honestly want this footy club back playing finals as quick as possible, and for me, if we can win the last 4 games of the year, I'll be wrapped. But if we can't, it probably doesn't change the destination of our journey. We got some very, very, very good people in the football club running the program as we speak, and we've got some elite talent here as well. And it's probably not going to happen overnight, but in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I think North Melbourne will get back to where they belong, and that's at the top of the list. And there'll be no doubt I'll be watching on as an avid fan, probably with a beer in hand, having a little chuckle and a smile because of the heavy lifting we've done over the last 3 or 4 years to get the club in the position it is to be able to launch now.
Just thinking about the way you played your footy today, it just feels like, is it almost like fate that you ended up in North Melbourne? Like you really embody that Shingo spirit.
Yeah, I didn't, to be absolutely brutally honest, I didn't know much about North before I got here. In my draft year, I was penciled in to go to Brisbane, pick 7, and I slid to North at pick 9. And when I got drafted, I reckon I knew maybe 3 or 4 players, in Adam Simpson, Boomer Harvey, and Daniel Pratt, and Drew Petrie, and that was about it. And when I got into the footy club, the facilities were over there on the corner, and the old social club rooms was our gym. There was no heating, no cooling. When it rained, we had to put buckets under lights. There was a big beehive in the side of the wall that one of the boys went through in a boxing session, and the bees come out, so everyone had to leave the gym. So the facilities weren't too dissimilar to the Wodonga Bulldogs, which is my local club growing up. So when I first walked into the place, I was a bit surprised. This is AFL. Wow, I thought it'd be a bit better than this, to be honest. But as soon as I got in, the people, the way they welcomed me and made me feel at home straight away, I soon learnt that the AFL, it's not really about the facilities. I mean, that does play a part, but it's more about the people within the footy club. And for me, North is like a country footy club, so I fitted in really, really quickly. And for me, it was about paying the club back. They didn't have to choose me in the draft. They didn't have to give me the opportunity, but they did. They stuck with me, especially in my first few years. I got injured a bit and didn't play any good footy at all. They still believed in me. Brad Scott still believed in me as a coach. He filled me with confidence, and the ability to now finish as a one-club player, I think, is something that's really, really important to me. And that loyalty piece for me is something that I'll hold really high. I wanted to finish here at North, and to be able to do that has been almost a dream come true.
You probably haven't given your future a heap of thought yet. Do you think you're someone who's going to need a spell from the game after this, or do you want to do a bit of coaching or anything?
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit of coaching and thoughts into coaching over the last couple of years with a few different courses and stuff, and it's something I'm really interested in. I've played footy for 15 years at the highest level, and it's all I know, and I'd love to be able to stay in the industry in any capacity that may be, but definitely coaching is an avenue I'd love to explore and go down. And I suppose when the time is right, we'll have a look at some options going forward and see what that brings for us. But again, probably right now, I've got 4 weeks of playing AFL footy, or 4 or 5 weeks, and I'm just going to enjoy every moment that brings because I know that I won't get that time back.
Are you staying super sub for a little while longer? Or?
I think I'm probably out of school saying this, but I'm retiring, so it doesn't matter. But I'll be super sub this week, which will be nice to get over the West and hopefully get a win against the Eagles. The boys have had a tough month for us. We were a bit better on the weekend against St Kilda, but ultimately not getting the reward was a tough pill to swallow. But I know that if we keep putting together performances like we did on the weekend and keep replicating that process, we're going to be in more games than we're not. So to be able to play any role I can to help our team improve over the next month, I'm up for that. Whether it's playing sub, whether it's having a rest and helping off field, whether it's playing full game, up forward, down back, it doesn't really bother me. I'm just here to enjoy my last month and help the team any way I can.
Is there a fixture left on the slate that you could lock in as one where you'd have friends and family and a big sort of celebration?
Yeah, I think so. Sitting down with the club, I probably over the next couple of weeks, but we'll probably look towards maybe the last Melbourne game, which I think is actually an away game against Richmond in round 23. But again, we'll have to sit down with the club and finalise some things, and no doubt we can let a few people know that if that is the one we're locking in. But right now, I think that's where that stands. Thanks, guys. Cheers.